It's Monday, March 6th, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Mantle. We have a great show in store for you today. The Barnstable Senior Center is gearing up for its annual St. Patrick's Day luncheon. We're going to learn more with Director of Senior Services, Madeline Noonan. Last Thursday was Read Across America Day. We're going to learn more about that with Barnstable United Elementary School Principal Mary Sullivan. And we're going to find out what's happening at Cape Cod Community College with Communications Director Michael Gross. But first, let's go ahead and get a look at today's top headlines. Barnstable High School is closed today. The closure is due to a boiler failure. Boilers in the building froze over the weekend, causing water damage. All other Barnstable public schools remain open. Town Council approves plans for a new $6.5 million carbon treatment system at the Mar well field. The proposal comes after the town has been purchasing water from Yarmouth at a rate of about $1.25 million a year. The project would be funded with a bond issue and will be included in the FY18 operating budget. Town Council also voted to accept a $15,000 grant from the Lyndon Paul LaRusso Charitable Foundation. That money will be used to support the 2017 Youth Summit and Community Substance Abuse Forum. 2 Barnstable food markets are applying for seasonal liquor licenses. Foodport International Market in Hyannis is applying for a seasonal wine and malt retail package store license, and the Cotuit Fresh Market is applying for a seasonal all-alcohol retail package store license. The licensing authority meets this morning at 9:30 in the Town Hall hearing room. That meeting, of course, will air live right here on Channel 18. The new Chief Executive Officer of the Housing Assistance Corporation will meet with the Homelessness Committee. Elisa Galazzi began working for the nonprofit in January. Galazzi will talk about HAC's future plans and directions. The Homelessness Committee meets at 6 tonight in the Selectmen's Conference Room. Well, up next, we're going to chat with Barnstable United Elementary School Principal Mary Sullivan. So Mary, very exciting day last week. I really wanted to be a part of this day. This is Read Across America. What sparked this day to become a national event?
Well, the history of the day goes back to our good friend Dr. Seuss. He has been the person that many of our children and many of our own children, have had the opportunity to kind of learn about reading in a fun, whimsical way. So basically it's become a day to honor Dr. Seuss's birthday, and it's just caught on like wildfire. And
it's so fun for the kids, I think, because as part of the day, so many community leaders really do take a time out of their day and head over. For example, Town Manager Mark Ells got a chance to stop by, I think, 2 schools in the area to read to children. So is it fun for the kids to see some of these community leaders and people who are involved in the community come and read to them?
It's really an interesting scenario. I popped into a few classrooms and they are just sitting there so attentively, wanting to not only hear the book, but they also get an opportunity to learn about the folks that are there. They have stories too, whether it was issues around learning to read or whether it's how reading has, how it impacts their life and how they use it in their everyday life.
Wow, so cool, so cool. You know, it's something too, do other activities happen in and around this Read Across America Day, or is it just people coming in and really taking the time to read stories to children?
For the most part, that's how we roll it at BUES. It's a morning and afternoon session type of thing. as one of the students asked, what's the buffet here for, waiting for our readers, which consisted of, I think, some cheese sticks, water, and some granola bars. It was a rather limited buffet. However, the reality is that it's a large enough event that, in terms of the number of people that come and join us. But the other piece of it is that our reading specialist and our librarian, Linda Schneider and Jessica Linehan, they go around the building the day before and put up some Dr. Seuss fish and trivia. So we try to create an atmosphere of fun.
Wonderful. Do you think that the day actually encourages kids to try new books or to maybe even get back into reading if they haven't been reading?
I think so. I think one of the readers I heard say to children, she asked the question, is reading a magazine reading? And they said no. And she says, well, as a matter of fact, it is. And I think that some of them don't realize that reading is reading, regardless of what forum it's in, what kind of text you're reading. It's it's a thing that you can learn from magazines. There's a lot of good articles in magazines, depending on the cover, in terms of whether they're nonfiction type or whether they're just fun stories about pop culture. But it's reading, and that's what we're encouraging. We're encouraging on a day like this a love of literacy and a joy, and there's joy in reading.
So no matter what it is, even if it's a comic book or a graphic novel, that is still reading.
Exactly.
So, really interesting. What do you think that the people who participate, these adults that come in and dedicate their time, what do you think they take away from the experience? Because it must be meaningful for them as well.
I think so. I mean, many of them have children that age, but not all. It's a really interesting age group. 9, 10, and 11-year-olds still have that somewhat, naivete. They're still young. They're still elementary school kiddos, and so, for the readers, I think that they see, how kids are really interested in learning about them. It's not just the book that they read.
Interesting. So really we're maybe picking up things on career paths or what someone contributes to the community or just what their interests are.
Exactly.
On a general, interesting. Very nice way to engage different age groups and have them interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Anything else about Read Across America Day that I may not have asked that you want our viewers to be aware of?
Well, just the fact that that we are very thankful for the fact that folks are willing to come in and spend that time with us. It's certainly, some of our individuals come in are very busy individuals, and so the fact that they find enough meaning in taking time out of their day is a wonderful thing for us as a school to see those folks, and also for our kids to see that, people who are have everyday responsibilities can also spend some time with us to share some of their stories.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, hopefully I can participate next year. Thank you so much for telling us about this wonderful event, Read Across America Day. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Can I share a quote from Dr. Seuss?
I would love to hear a quote from Dr. Seuss.
All the places you'll go. So the more that you read, the more things you will know, the more that you learn, the more places you'll go. And we all know that reading is a way for us to travel places without even leaving our living rooms.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you. I love that quote. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. Of course, our guest today, Barnstable United Elementary School Principal Mary Sullivan. Up next, we're going to learn more about the St. Patrick's Day luncheon at the Barnstable Senior Center with Director of Senior Services, Madeline Noonan. Madeline, the St. Patrick's Day lunch at the Senior Center is always such a fabulous event. You must be so excited that it's coming up again.
Yeah, Sarah. I mean, we have a lot of great special events that we host throughout the year at the Senior Center, and they're always fun and engaging, and it's a great, opportunity for older adults in our community to come in and just participate in fun social activities. But, being Irish-born myself, obviously the St. Patrick's Day luncheon is an event that's near and dear to my heart because it's celebrating my heritage. I mean, I'm so proud to be an Irish person, and have the good fortune to live in the, United States of America, particularly here on Cape Cod, where we have such a strong Irish community. And this event, whether people are, have Irish heritage, or not, this is pretty much a sellout event every year. I think everybody just enjoys, the feeling that spring is in the air, and there's just so much to be happy about. And, I think it is true that everybody feels Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
It's so true. It's so true. And I love attending this event. It's so fun. You guys have some live music and lots of fun. A fabulous lunch planned. Tell us about the music.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's sort of like we want to bring Ireland to the Senior Centre. We know we can't bring everybody here to Ireland, but we want to make it as authentic as we can so that people, who are attending really feel that, the entertainment, is kind of emblematic of real Irish entertainment. Anybody who's had the pleasure to be able to travel to Ireland, that's one of the things that you hear is that they talk about when they've been able to listen to traditional Irish music. And we are very fortunate to have, it's as authentic as you can get, because we have a man called Sean Murphy, who is a native of Dublin like me. He's been living here on Cape Cod for a number of years. He actually teaches. He's a teacher, a high school teacher, and he has a number of musician friends that he's met during his time living on the Cape. There's a whole circuit that all these musicians do. There's places that they travel around to where they perform traditional Irish. We call it a session, a session. And the wonderful thing about listening to this kind of traditional music is how kind of kinetic and organic it is. People just play together, and it's just a beautiful thing. So Sean Murphy and his friends are going to be performing again. They've been doing this pretty much every year. And it's, for them it's a pleasure because they enjoy, sharing this wonderful gift that they have to be able to perform together, with all of the people that will attend the event. And I have to say, it's the next best thing to actually being in Ireland. I have to say, I could close my eyes when I'm at the event and feel like I am back there, listening to this. So, it's terrific. It's terrific entertainment. And then the food is put together. We do a traditional corned beef and cabbage meal, which is prepared chiefly by our outreach and transportation coordinator, Judy Red, who every year for the last, I think this is like the 17th or 18th year that she's been doing this at the Senior Centre. She prepares, I have to say, it's like the best corned beef and cabbage that I've ever had in my life. And it's a wonderful meal, and we have Irish soda bread, we have dessert, and all of this, dinner, entertainment, and just great camaraderie for $12.
$12.
$12.
That is quite a bargain.
It's an unbelievable bargain.
Yeah. Does the Friends of the Barnstable Council on Aging, do they contribute to keep that cost low? Because that seems so low, Madeline.
It is. Well, let me tell you how fortunate we are is that Sean and his friends don't actually charge us to perform here. So, for the fact that they come and perform, for free at this event, we're exceptionally grateful for that, because that helps us keep the cost down. Obviously, we do want, our seniors to be able to come in and enjoy, a nice event and get together. And the Friends have been very supportive of a lot of the special events that we do at the Senior Centre. As they are our fundraising wing here, and they help support and subsidize a lot of events just to kind of try and keep the cost down as well. I will say that, because we cook this meal in-house, we don't have to have a caterer come in and do it. It helps us keep it very affordable, which is why we're able to offer so much, for that, it really is a bargain price. And don't think that, because you're paying so little that, that the food isn't, high quality or the entertainment isn't, the best, because this event really is one of those things that almost sounds too good to be true.
It is, and you can pay so much for live music and for performers to come in. What an amazing gift!
Well, I think if you went out to any of our, and I know a lot of our local restaurants here are great. It's great that they do a St. Patrick's Day meal, but you wouldn't even get the food for that cost. And to come in here and have a whole event, that it's not just about the meal, it's not just about the entertainment. It's just, it's always. I have to say, when I think there's something about this event where people just always bring their good mood. They bring their festive spirit. I think it's just typically when we've been kind of sort of fed up with the winter weather, and everybody's just so happy to get out and hear the birds chirping, and you see the daffodils on the tables, and it just feels like spring. So it just has, it always has just a really really, positive, happy mood. And, I can tell you, I'm just very excited for this event, as are all of the staff and all of our volunteers who work so hard to put these special events together, and our Friends Board, of course, for their support.
Well, I see tickets sell out pretty quickly, so how can someone who's watching get a ticket?
Well, we're less than 2 weeks away now, so I would say, the sooner the better, because we're pretty much at 2/3 full, and this event will sell out. So I would ask that anybody who's interested in coming, they can drop by the Senior Centre and, just make their payment, check or cash, for $12 to the Friends of the Barnstable Council on Aging, and then they will be able to come and join us on, again, it's March 16th, it's a Thursday, at noontime.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for telling us all about this great event,
Thanks.
Natalie.
I hope to see you there, Sarah.
I'll be there. We can't
Awesome.
wait.
Great.
Right.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. My guest today, Director of Senior Services, Madeline Noonan. Joining me now live over the phone, I have Cape Cod Community College Communications Director Michael Gross. Michael, you have some really good news to share with us. There's a big grant given out to you guys Friday, $350,000. This is going to help your nursing program.
It is. It's very, very exciting. Your viewers and listeners get the first news. They'll be hearing a lot more about it as it begins to roll out and we begin to use it. But the Massachusetts Skills Capital Grant Program is a multi-million-dollar program through the state in which it provides funds that will generate training and actual job skills at various both public and private agencies around the state. And we did receive, in fact, Friday, President Cox went up with Vice President Miller and Dean Madigan and our Vice Chair of the Board, David Bushy, to receive $350,000, which really will do a lot to help put new equipment, updated equipment into our renovation project that will start just at the end of the semester when we completely enlarge and renovate our nursing teaching lab. Very, very exciting program. The public will remember the $1 million gift from Cape Cod Healthcare that began this entire process that ultimately will allow us to enlarge our nursing class each year from 24 to 32 more students over the next 3 years. And to do that, we need more space, and we also need more equipment. And in reality, we need newer equipment as well. The public may well remember the very first simulated human being, Sim Man, that came into our nursing lab at the time, but it was 2006. I can't believe it was 11 years ago that this first mannequin, all connected to a computer system, came in and began to help our nurses learn how to diagnose and how to treat various diseases and the kinds of outcomes that could happen when unexpected things came along. And this was an amazing device, an amazing mannequin. And then we had Sim Baby, which came along after it a few years later. Well, things have progressed far beyond that over the last 11 years. And we are very, very excited that this particular grant, along with the generosity of a wonderful donor, because Sim Man alone now is a $115,000 device. Just for that one mannequin. But we will, in fact, be able to have an entire family of simulated computer-assisted mannequins to help our students. And the interesting thing about this is it's not just our students in nursing. We also have medical assistants. We also are the center for training your emergency medical technicians, your paramedics, the EMTs that are here all over the region. And so they will also be able to get benefit out of the new lab and the new SIM people. This is just an amazing opportunity for us. It really helps in terms of allowing us to put the capital fundraising into the renovation of the building itself and all of the new equipment. This will go as well to buy some other equipment, things such as some beds and other things that will go into that laboratory. But
well, it's so exciting, Michael, I think, because there is such a need for medical professionals here on the Cape. I think I see advertisements for postings for nurses in the Cape Cod healthcare system all the time. It's pretty much a standard. They need nurses. So to really put this investment in is a great relationship there, and I think that's going to be beneficial to both the college as well as Cape Cod.
Oh, without a doubt. Think about this. 20% of all the jobs in this region are in healthcare. 20%, clearly a fifth of every 1 in 5 jobs are healthcare related. So this is very critical. It will help us provide more trained professionals to Cape Cod Healthcare itself, but as for all the other agencies as well. An amazing gift. Very, very excited about it. And the president and all up there on Friday to know that they can come back, and this is one piece of this puzzle that's now been solved. And again, I also have to again remember that a wonderful benefactor has given us the funds to purchase SimMan alone, which really helped stretch these dollars a long ways.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful news. And I would venture to say Cape Cod Community College probably has a waiting list for the nursing program. So to be able to add more students to the program is a huge, huge win.
You know, I just heard the figures. We had 263 applicants to the nursing program this year. Astonishing number. We're going to be able to take in this semester, I think, somewhere on the order of 67 to 70, something like that. Very, very close. But look at that. That's only 1 in 4, or maybe even 1 in 5, depending upon how many applicants. There's a critical need, and the good news is we're working to grow it. It's very dependent upon where our nurses can go in their training, known as clinical placements. And Cape Cod Healthcare has said they will expand the opportunities for our nursing students so we can add more. So it is very, very exciting.
Now, Michael, don't mean to change the subject a little bit here, but I have a question for you. Individuals can get, I think, a registered nurse, an associate's degree that makes them a registered nurse.
Correct.
Is there an opportunity for them to go from that nursing, that associate's in nursing, as a registered nurse to get that bachelor's in science?
Yeah, exactly, and it's very, very important. And Cape Cod Healthcare will tell you they really want so-called BSN, Bachelor of Science in Nursing graduates. And the good news is the partnership we have with UMass Boston, which is a premier BSN program, our students and LPNs in the area that want to move up to RN, and our students can go and will go here on campus. UMass Boston brings their nursing program right here on campus. You don't have to drive to Boston. And part of all of this growth that's going on will enable our nurses, once they graduate and get their associate and attain the RN, they'll actually have the opportunity to go to work at Cape Cod Healthcare as what is now going to be called a novice nurse. But as they do that, they'll continue their studies to move up to the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. The BSN is really the coin of the realm today in critical care nursing. It's critically important to get the additional training because medical care has become so complex. But the good news is right here, the partnership we've had for some time with UMass Boston. In fact, they now have had 2 cohorts graduate through with bachelor's degrees over the past couple of years will be very important.
Such an incredible program. Thank you so much, Michael, for telling us about this exciting new grant as well as a little bit more about the nursing program at Cape Cod Community College. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be with you.
All right, talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michael. Our guest today, Cape Cod Community College Communications Director Michael Gross. Now let's find out what's happening around town in today's community calendar. A comedy night this month will raise money to support the Barnstable High School after prom event. We all know that's such an important event to keep the kids safe. The comedy night will feature Barnstable's Jim Ruberti as the MC. Food and a cash bar will be available. There will also be a live and silent auction. The comedy night will be held at the Cape Codder Resort and Spa Saturday, March 11th at 7. For more information, visit the Barnstable High School prom celebration page on Facebook, and if you're looking that up, it's Barnstable HS Prom Celebration Facebook page. The Barnstable High School Drama Club production of Into the Woods opens this month. The epic fairy tale is sure to be a crowd pleaser. You can catch the show March 17th, 18th, 24th, and 25th at 7 p.m. and March 19th and 25th at 2 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for seniors, students, veterans, and anyone active in the military. You can purchase tickets at the door or online by visiting bhsdc.brownpapertickets.com. Now here's a look at this week's board, committee, and commission meeting schedule. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be back tomorrow with another great show for you. Tomorrow we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.